Hi, Armand Diaz here with another video astroblog, this time talking about Mercury and Saturn retrograding in 2013. Well, that was quite a week we had. Or maybe it's fair to say it was quite a week we didn't have. Saturn stationed to retrograde on February 18th, Mercury stationed to retrograde on February 23rd. In between, the Sun went into Pisces, it conjuncted Neptune, and we had heroically long moon voids. It might be the case that absolutely nothing happened. It's not really a time when we can get traction with things. It's sort of like the cosmic traffic lights are turning yellow and red, and going forward is not something that's so easy to do. And, you might be a little discouraged to find that we're probably going to be in exactly this type of situation all the way out until pretty much the latter part of March, when, around the 20th, when Mars will go into Aries, and then the Sun will go into Aries, Venus will go into Aries, Mars will meet up with Uranus, Mercury will be direct, things will be moving forward, and we have a very hot and exciting year with the Uranus-Pluto square really reaching its peak, with Jupiter getting into the mix in the summertime. There's all kinds of things that are going to be happening, but not right now, and that's okay. We need a little downtime. We need a little time to rest and recharge. This is the time before spring, and we got to be a little bit like the trees. The trees are kind of, they're taking it easy. They're getting ready to go forward, but they're not yet blossoming and blooming. Not in New York, anyway. So at this time, we really go inward. We decide what it is we want to do. We set our direction. It's a great time to meditate. It's a great time to do right brain activities like, drawing, creative stuff, musical instruments. I've got my bass over here. I'm going to be practicing my bass quite a bit during this time. It's a great time to do stuff that really is not so much goal-directed, not so much we're really going to be pushing things forward. Let some stuff happen, recharge, and to the extent that you're thinking about the practical issues of what you're doing in the world, this is really a much better time to be deciding where you want to go than pushing forward that way. We need downtime. We need downtime. We need contrast. We need to have some background so that we can see the figures in the foreground. Otherwise, it's just all one big mishmash of stuff that's just flowing past us all the time. We can't really see progress even if we don't have some time where we're going slow. It all kind of makes sense if you think about it. We need to have some point of perspective. We need to have some background time in our lives so that we can see the foreground stuff, whether it's career or relationship or anything else. We need to have some time that is a little bit quieter so that we can see the activity in context. If everything is just flowing past constantly, you have no perspective. You have no idea where anything is going. So take this time to rest and recharge. Come the middle of March or a little past that, there's going to be plenty of opportunities to go forward, and you can take advantage of them. Okay, now that we got the others out of the room, let's talk for real. You and I know that we're not having downtime. It's not going to happen. You're going to reread books. No, this does not happen. Okay, it is probably a good idea for you not to sign contracts, but if you sign the contract, it may have to be rewritten. There's nothing to say it's not going to be rewritten in your favor. It's probably not a great time to buy electronics, but you probably can convince yourself that you're just replacing something, because we already have a lot of electronics, and the same thing with cars and stuff like that. Probably nothing too bad will happen if you do any of those Mercury retrograde things, but, if you want things to work out sort of as planned, you might want to wait on it a little bit. But when it comes to the bigger things, it's hard to say I'm not doing anything for an entire month. It doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it sounds like a lot of time when you're thinking about not doing anything. So listen, you may have had projects and plans that were sort of in the closet because you didn't get to them in the past. Maybe something that you started or thought about starting in the fall. This would be a great time to take it out of the closet, start working on it. Maybe something that seemed like a great idea a couple of years ago, but you never followed up on it. This would be a great time to get started with it. If you have something that's a brand new project and you're saying, I'm not so sure that's a great idea, well, look, version 1.0 may not be perfect, and version 1.1 and 1.2 may not be great. But when you get to version 1.3, very likely you'll have something that is really worthwhile. The fact that we need to work things through and do revisions doesn't mean that we don't have a good idea. It doesn't mean that it won't be successful. It only means that it's going to require some extra work and revision, and it may take time to get some traction with it. Now, it's much better to have a good idea that needs to be worked out over time than to have a bad idea that is just ready to because you've hit the really great time to get an idea out there into the universe, and it just takes it and runs with it, and you say, "Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that," but it keeps going and going and going. So, really, this is a great time to rest and recharge. But you're probably not going to do that on a daily basis, and others are going to kind of demand that you keep yourself pretty busy anyway. So keep yourself busy, go ahead with things. Just be aware of the need to revise. Just be aware of the fact that you may not get great traction, and be aware of the fact that this is a great time to take an old idea out and revisit it. Now, that's the real story. And you heard it from me.